Flexibility is the ability to move a joint through its complete range of motion. This is crucial during everyday activities, movements, and sports. In this video, I will be performing 4 different types of flexibility measurements. First, I will perform a 5-minute warm-up prior to testing. It is recommended that you refrain from fast, jerky movements, which may increase the possibility of an injury. The Canadian Trunk Forward Flexion Test. This sit and reach test has been used commonly to assess lower back and hamstring flexibility. Shoes must be removed before beginning the test. Then you sit with the soles of your feet flat against the flexometer or sit and reach box. The inner edges of the soles are placed within 2 centimeters of the measuring scale. Make sure that your hands are parallel and don't lead with one hand. Fingertips can be overlapped and should be in contact with the measuring portion of the sit and reach box. Inhale and then exhale while dropping your head between your arms and slowly reach forward with both hands as far as possible without bending your knees and hold the position for about 2 seconds. The test is scored by measuring the most distant point in centimeters reached with the fingertips, and the best 2 trials will be recorded. For the YMCA sit and reach test, a yardstick will be placed on the floor and tape will be placed across it at a right angle to the 15-inch mark. Sit with the yardstick between the legs with legs extended at right angles to the tape line on the floor. Heels touch the edge of the tape line and be about 10 to 12 inches apart. You will now perform the test by using the same procedures as the Canadian Trunk Forward Flexion Test. Make sure that you remove your shoes, place your feet on the tape's edge, exhale as you reach, hold the position for 2 seconds, don't lead with one hand, and don't bend your knees when reaching. The chair sit and reach test. Many older individuals have difficulty performing the Canadian and YMCA sit and reach tests due to functional limitations such as lower back pain and poor range of motion. The chair sit and reach test is similar to the other tests but will only measure one leg, therefore reducing the stress on the spine and lower back. Place a chair against a wall for stability and sit on the front edge of the seat. You will extend the leg being tested in front of the hip with the heel on the floor and the ankle dorsiflexed approximately 90 degrees. You will then flex the unrested leg so the sole of the foot is flat on the floor about 6 to 12 inches to the side of the body's midline, with the extended leg as straight as possible and hands on top of each other, palms down. You will then slowly bend forward at the hip joint, keeping the spine as straight as possible and head at normal alignment. Reach down the extended leg and try to touch your toes and hold this position for 2 seconds. The ruler will be parallel to your lower leg. Remember to administer 2 practice trials followed by 2 test trials. The scoring for this test will be as follows. The middle of the big toe medial aspect at the end of the shoe represents a 0 score. Reaching short of the toes are recorded as minus scores. Reaching beyond the toes are recorded as plus scores. Record the best score to the nearest half inch. The Thomas test assesses the flexibility of the hip flexors. We will begin by lying supine with the back compressed against the board. You will then bring one leg, the contralateral leg, or the leg that is not being tested, in the direction of the chest just to point where the lumbar spine is snug to the floor. If the tested leg remains in contact with during the movement, the hip flexors are flexible. If the tested leg rises, the hip flexors are unlikely to be flexible. For the Canadian Trunk Forward Flexion Test, I scored 40 centimeters, which is classified as very good. When using this chart, it is based on the sit and reach box in which the 0 point is set. at 26 centimeters. When using a box in which the 0 point is set at 23 centimeters, you subtract 3 centimeters. For the YMCA sit and reach test, I scored 22 inches, which is in the 80th percentile and classified as above average. For the Thomas test, both left and right legs remained in contact with the floor during hip flexor movement, indicating both legs were flexible.